We are looking at Chapter 3, Communication Skills and Tools out of your ADA book, but we are going to the very bottom of this chapter, and we're only touching on telephone image in this lecture. So we're going to talk a little bit about having a positive telephone image and what that entails. So we're going to look at the loudness of our volume to the listener, our speech, our pitch, and also our vocabulary. So we talk about having a script when we're answering the phone. There are a couple of ways that we can say things in a more positive and professional way. So instead of saying, I don't know, what we might want to say to our caller is, may I check on that and get back to you? Instead of saying you're wrong, we might want to say, let me try to clarify and then explain. Instead of saying, I don't know where she is to the caller, what you would want to say is she's unavailable at this time. And instead of saying we can't do that, saying I'm sorry, but we're unable to do whatever it is they want you to do. We can, however, offer and then offer other options. When answering the phone in the office, we're going to want to answer within 3 rings. We want to identify the practice by its name, and we want to identify ourselves. We want to speak clearly and convey that we're smiling through the phone. We'll try to use appropriate terminology, but also terminology that the listener can relate to and understand. We want to give the caller our full attention. We want to have good listening skills. We don't want to place the caller on hold if we can help it. We want to speak directly into the receiver, thank the caller, and then you want to let whoever makes the phone call hang up first. So typically when the caller is calling the office, we're going to let them hang up before we do. When we are calling, we're going to gather all of our necessary information before we make a call. We're going to plan the call so that we will not be interrupted. On a multi-line system, we're going to choose an open line before we lift our receiver. Before dialing, we're going to check for a dial tone. We want to make sure that we're dialing the number correct. We want to know the party's extension if there is one. Once connected, we want to first identify ourselves and the practice that we're calling from, and then why we're calling. And then we want to summarize the call just to make sure that everyone is on the same page before we hang up the phone. Other calls that we might have in the dental office or in the dental setting include conference calls. So these everything applies in conference calls, video conference, voicemail, and then our personal calls.